Hi, today I have Cody Davis. He's back for a second episode. He will be talking about a magnificent dashboard that's going to be super useful in order to track the cost for every single query you will run on your Databricks environment. Hey, Cody.
Hey, how's it going?
All good, all good. Thanks again for joining this session. I'm pretty sure you're gonna help a lot of people with this dashboard. So, can you
Yeah, absolutely.
tell us maybe more about this dashboard? Who came up with it, and maybe once when it is going to be available? Is it something that everyone can set up?
Yeah, so this is going to be one of the first couple of dashboard templates that our product is releasing as like a sort of Databricks blessed product template. This one being sort of focused on cost per query for DBSQL has been a really popular ask with customers and people considering using Databricks for data warehousing across the industry. So really excited to get something out there and see something in use. So yeah, the dashboard is really aimed at helping take the cost of a warehouse that's a shared resource and attribute that up to different users, groups, and teams. This usually is for a couple reasons. One of them just being finding the most expensive queries. So, what queries are taking up the most compute time and resources of the warehouse? You don't necessarily need dollars for that, but it's a nice proxy that everyone understands that is pretty digestible in terms of figuring out where the sort of problem queries might be. The second piece is more around like budgeting and cost attribution for either internal budgeting, so being able to attribute costs of a shared resource across teams. So if you have a team or multiple teams that share a warehouse, you can attribute and divide the cost of that warehouse based on some reasonably accurate metric of cost allocation. The third example I see the most is actually attributing costs for revenue generating data apps. So if you have data apps in production that fuel your own customer reporting and use cases, you may want to attribute specific portions of your DB usage back to that customer as a chargeback. And this offers a really good way to do that for you out of the box.
Yeah, and uh, can you show us maybe where to find the resources to upload this or to implement this dashboard?
Absolutely. Let me pull it up here. So it is officially in our Databricks Labs environment. So our product is publishing these dashboard template private previews in Databricks Labs. But you can also go to our DBSQL SME Medium publication to find not just the dashboard itself, but a quick intro of the dashboard, how to think about it, how to use it. I can paste that. We can paste that link in the link on this video, but I can also just sort of share my screen here to showcase where this is. So yeah, this is the blog. If you Google DBSQL SME Engineering, the blog that sort of describes this initial dashboard is called Introducing Granular Cost Monitoring for Databricks SQL. And this will tell you not just where to go, what to do, but also a little bit about the dashboard and how the logic works itself. But we don't have to go through the blog today because I'll show the actual dashboard live here.
And the link will be added in the description of this video.
Awesome. So what makes sense to do next?
Yeah, you can share the dashboard and that's it. And you can start maybe explaining. I mean, the upload part, everyone can, it's super easy part, but they will
All
have
right. So to actually use the dashboard, you'll go to the Git repo attached to this link, and you'll have a two-step process. One, to deploy a data model, which just runs a materialized view or a table data model that powers the dashboard. And then you will go to your dashboards tab, and the GitHub repo will also contain a JSON dashboard template. You'll go to this create dashboard import from file and simply upload that template, and then you should be off to the races, and then you'll officially get this dashboard here. So
as
this,
usual, just keep in mind that you need to have system tables enabled. Else you
yep,
won't be having those information popping up here.
Yep. So you do need the query history and warehouses and warehouse events system table enabled and billing as well. So if you don't have those already, check out the Databricks documentation to get those turned on. It's pretty quick and easy to do. But yeah, then once you have that, this is the dashboard that you'll get. The dashboard is pretty straightforward. So for a given period of time, you can look at one or many workspaces and, of course, one or many warehouses. So you can look across many warehouses at once, and you can also start to analyze sort of your top in analysis here. So if for your use case, you're looking for the top 10 users that are running queries on a warehouse, you can do that for many warehouses. In this case, we're looking at a bunch of our warehouses all at once. But you can also say, well, I want the top 10 actual queries themselves so I can see what our most expensive queries are, or my top 10 objects, which means, my dashboard IDs, my actual notebooks themselves, any object ID associated with a Databricks resource, that'll be tracked. And also type. So what are your top N types of resources? This can be a dashboard, a SQL query, and even external connections like DBT, Fivetran, and other connections that way. So those are the sort of dimensions you can filter on and stack rank on. In our example here, we just have, we're just going to look at top 10 executed users. So this will help us understand the top 10 users. And we can even search for specific users, types of dashboards, as well as query sources themselves. And then we can even put in a DBSQL discount. If you have a discount on DBSQL, the system tables by default for now are list rates. So this lets you actually put in real dollars with your own discounts on DBSQL. And then the rest of this just shows a pretty quick breakdown of the queries, users, and objects stack ranked by query attributed cost. So that really shows you a stack rank list of top dashboards, top users, and even your top sort of individual assets themselves. So very, very simple breakdown. Most of the meat and intelligence of the dashboard is at the bottom of this here. So here you can see our not just our usage, but our attributed usage over time. And you can trend this out by day, hour, week, quarter, month. In this case, daily is default. This will show you the total attributed cost of the queries split up by the work done on the query. So the resources that query takes, this is the total for each day attributed to that for a given warehouse. So here, this is really the meat of the entire dashboard. In the dashboard itself, we calculate a metric just called query work. Put really simply, it's just the amount of task time and resources that query consumes. And then the total cost of the warehouse is proportionally divided up dependent on how much work proportionally that each query takes up in that given time period. There's a little bit more nuance to that, but the logic is publicly available. You can see it. And you can, customize it to any specific business attribution logic that you have. But the starting point is a pretty good industry standard. But here you can see the individual statements, the attributed usage, as well as the actual warehouse and everything you kind of need to know about it. When the query started, how much work it did, what the actual query duration was, when the total query start in time was, what the work start and end time is, as well as individual breakdowns on where this attribution comes from. So queries can run, for a long time. So for each hour, the warehouse usage for that hour is attributed proportionally to the queries. So you can see the individual hour line item details of this here. So this is an example of a really long running query that gets attributed over many, many hours. So overall, that's really it. So the main point of this dashboard is just to help with attribution, as well as get a quick summary and feel for like how intensive your queries are over time and in general for your given data products.
Yeah, especially the fact that you can select the product, whether it's the AI/BI dashboard, whether maybe it's consumed by, I don't know, Power BI or maybe Genie, and then you can check maybe which queries are most consuming and maybe go and optimize them. It gives a lot of insights, and those kind of dashboard can be combined with the DBSQL Warehouse Advisor that you highlighted during the last session. That's how you can really get the most of your Databricks investment and increase your ROE and also the performance of your architecture.
Yep. And yeah, you can even if you let's say we have a really expensive query here and we want to see if we can optimize it, you can actually click on the individual statement IDs and it will take you to the actual query
For query
profile
profiler.
itself. So that makes it really easy to not just find the queries that are expensive, but we can quickly see the most expensive operator for this query is this aggregation, and we can sort of see, okay, is there anything else we can do to optimize this? Generally, this looks like a pretty decent query,
Yeah.
but that's it. Makes it really easy to sort of find the needle in the haystack.
And Cody, if I'm not wrong, Johu is looking for feedback. So if any one of you is deploying or deployed this dashboard, make sure to share your feedback with Johu. We will add the email in the description of the recording, so we can improve this dashboard, maybe or enhance it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's currently in private preview now, even though it's publicly available. But like we mentioned, this is a template, so we want to refine the template and make sure. So if you do want to include your own feedback in the private preview, reach out to Juho and
Perfect. Thank you so much, Cody. It was
all right,
very useful.
all right.